Make sure I don't look too crazy here.
This is so dirty. So you guys stop at the world's largest pistachio. The only appropriate flavor of ice cream to get is, of course, pistachio. Now I know what you're thinking. You guys are probably thinking right now, that's an awful lot of snow there. Welcome to White Sands, guys. This is New Mexico's #1 most visited national park. It is miles and miles and miles of white sand that builds up in these dunes. And super fun place to go sledding and whatnot. The one time that I don't have the camera set up at the bottom, I just hold it. I make it down with no problems. Right now I'm at one of the picnic areas. Came on a Friday, and even though this place sees almost 1 million visitors every single year, not a whole lot of people here today. Now they do sometimes issue backcountry camping permits here, but for whatever reason they're not available today. So I'm gonna drive around and hit the trails and the signs and everything that I see, and then head out to a place. I saw a place on the way down that I'm gonna try to camp at a little bit later tonight, but for right now I'm just gonna enjoy the White Sands.
The stark, pure white dunefield you will explore just ahead is one of the rarest landscapes on planet Earth. Only a tiny handful of gypsum dune systems exist, and here you stand in the largest. Astronauts can see these dunes clearly from space.
So this area right here is called the Interdune Boardwalk. So they set up this boardwalk just because it's kind of hard to navigate the sand if you're walking through all that. So you can walk a little further into the dunes here. And then along the way, they have a bunch of little information signs about the landscape and the plant life. See some little bird footprints right there. You gotta feel the bare sand at least one time, right? Put my footprints next to the birdie's footprints. Found a little sand angel. Pretty cool. This is the kind of stuff that trips me out, right? So you have like these berms of the soft sand, and then this is, I mean, relatively soft, but it's compacted, and it makes me wonder if it's held together just by the roots of that thing, and if the sand here at one point was like level, but it's all blown. Because all the highest points have those bushes on the top of them. So I think that's all held together by their roots, basically. They have sand everywhere, by the way. But anyway, so I'm heading back up to, there's supposed to be some petroglyphs and a campground. I got like 50 minutes to go back up north, and then I'll catch that since the camping at White Sands was closed. But it had fun. I'm just getting old running up and down those hills. I'm not too old to sled. It was fun to sled, but I only did it a few times because by the 5th time or so, I was done. Toasted. All right, so this just talks about the people that inhabited this area. It was about 400 AD they made all of these petroglyphs. It says that I can see the remains of a village down this trail, and then up are some petroglyphs. Now, in this area, actually, I was reading, there's over 21,000 different petroglyphs that were made between the year 400 and 1400. So that is pretty crazy. This is one of the very few areas in the Southwest that is preserved specifically for the petroglyphs that were made in this area. So that is pretty cool. Pretty impressive. I think that that's really neat. Gonna head down here and see where this village is. Beautiful. Snow-covered mountain there. So don't see any ruins yet, but it says right now this is where the village was. So I am technically in the village. It says that it was abandoned by 1400 was the last year that it was inhabited. So when I went to Bandelier the other day, I just bought the America the Beautiful pass. It's good for the whole year. It's $80, and it's a really good deal because, so I got to do that. I did White Sands today. So that right there would have been $50 between the two. This would have been $10, but I can actually stay here for free. So in 2 weeks, I've almost paid for that pass. So if you guys are interested in doing like state parks or national parks or whatever, and you have a lot in your state to go check out, I recommend getting that America the Beautiful pass for sure. So you can see some logs here. This was an adobe house, would have been here. This actually says, this tripped me out. Usually the people buried their dead beneath the floors of their houses. 2 such burials were found beneath the floor here. It says the men averaged 5'4" and the women less than 5 feet. So they had small doorways here. And this little hole at the top of the house would have been used for storage for corn and food and things like that. If this view could be my backyard, though, sign me up. I'll live in this little stone house. I'll rebuild that. Sign me up. This right here is evidence of a different style of house that they built. This is the ones they would have built earlier, and it's a pit house, so it's just dug out, and then they would have built up and had a roof over the top of that bad boy. There was a sign that said a long time ago there used to be a lot of houses here, but they were all kind of destroyed by people looking for like archaeological things, arrowheads and things like that. But there are still the petroglyphs up in the hills, so I gotta walk back kind of up that way a little bit to go check those out. Let's go see what those look like. I also heard, and this is just something that I read on the internet, so you know how everything you read on the internet is completely true, that some of the petroglyphs look different in the daytime as opposed to nighttime under the moon. So I don't know if there's going to be a full moon tonight, but I'm kind of hoping for a full moon to get up there and see if it looks any different. Yeah, see, so this says 20,000 petroglyphs. I read online 21, so maybe more have been identified since then. It says that there's actually no known descendants of the people that made them. As usual, I was hauling my butt up the stairs there, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm probably passing some, which I am. That one almost looks like a shopping bag. Yeah, cactus of some sort. That's definitely a bird. It may be a different bird. I'm not sure what that is. This definitely, that's a ram, right? And then a person, maybe? See a face with either a mustache or a frown. There's the eyes and the nose. Person, alien, or lizard. I really have no clue, but maybe something like a goat standing on its hind legs, maybe? Not sure what that is either. Kind of just a spiral there. This is crazy. So obviously I can't show you guys every single one that I see. Otherwise we'll be here for the next hour and a half looking at these. And I'm sure you guys don't want to spend your YouTube time doing that. But how cool and special is this? Like, we're looking at drawings made by people 1,500 years ago that are still laying around in the rocks. And since there are no known descendants, like, you can really only speculate as to what the significance of them was. That one is super cool. It's huge. And then there's like more spirals right there. There's like this little ledgy area up here, and then you got that one. This trail's kind of rugged. There's a lot of rocks and stuff, and you're stepping on a lot of this kind of stuff. So if you ever make it out here, just be ready. It's only half a mile, but it is rugged. So you can see there's a bunch down here. Oh, it's not focusing on my finger, but you see a hand, see like an eagle. That one looks like a, you know, a person, humanoid figure with a goat on top of it. At the very back end of the trail, they have this really cool little structure. So you just sit down and kind of take in the sights, but I can't decide if I want to take in this side or that side. So this is the one that I chose first. Maybe I'll give myself like 10 minutes of this one. And then this is number 2. So maybe 10 minutes of this one in the morning because the sun's going to come up, I think, over the right about there somewhere. And then I'll give myself this one right now since the sun's setting on that side. Oh, wow. That one is actually really cool. I got super excited because I was like, no way, that's a dog, but it's totally a ram still. I was like, oh, a dog, what? How cool. I mean, the ram is cool. A 1,500-year-old freaking petroglyph of a ram is cool, right? Regardless. I'm 100% feeling some fettuccine tonight. This is one of the worst looking ones I've seen, but it doesn't taste that bad, thankfully. Cheers, guys. Some peach bubbly here. For like dessert-y. It also came with this First Strike nutritious energy bar. I can't even bite it. It's so hard. Let me maybe. I need a cup of coffee really, really bad, and I've heard really good reviews about this Owl Bar Cafe for breakfast, so I'm going to stop in here and check it out. Okay, so I'm definitely vibing with this style, but check this out. One half of the Duck Dynasty was here. With the steak and eggs? Come on, man. Went ahead and left my mark. 10 out of 10, but I got to come back for the green chili cheeseburger because that's actually what they are famous for. But yeah, anyway, that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it as always. I'm going to make it on YouTube. I'm going to make it thanks to you guys. So I'll catch you guys next week.